All right, let's just jump right in. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but just a few years ago, AI was this fascinating party trick. Now it's literally the plumbing of our digital world. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack that incredible journey, how AI went from a cool novelty to essential infrastructure in just 4 years. To really get a feel for this massive shift, just cast your mind back to 2022. We had chatbots, right? You'd type in a prompt and boom, you'd get an answer back. A simple one-to-one conversation. Now, let's zip forward to today, 2026. We're not talking about chatbots anymore. We're talking about proactive digital colleagues. You don't just give them a command, you give them a goal, and they go off and strategize, plan, and execute to get it done. This isn't just an upgrade. We're dealing with a whole new species of technology here. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here so fast? Well, our story really kicks off in what I like to call the gimmick phase. This wasn't about building the future just yet. It was all about that wow factor, that moment of wonder when AI just exploded into the public consciousness. And honestly, it really did feel like magic. And yeah, this number is what lit the fuse. When ChatGPT launched back in November 2022, it hit 1 million users in, get this, just 5 days. It just went completely viral. But here's the key thing we have to remember. It was a reactive tool. Don't get me wrong, it was mind-blowing. But you were always in the driver's seat. You had to constantly keep feeding it prompts to get anything meaningful done. But that gimmick phase, it didn't last long. Because behind the scenes, the real revolution was already happening. It was a fundamental evolution in the AI's brain. The software itself was transforming from a simple conversationalist into a thinking, planning agent that could actually act on its own. So let's be super clear about where we started. This is reactive AI. It's powerful for sure, but it's totally passive. It's just waiting. It has no long-term goal, no memory of the bigger picture, and zero ability to take initiative. Think of it like a really, really smart oracle that you have to consult for every single tiny step of a journey. And that brings us to the new paradigm, agentic AI. This is a whole different ballgame. Instead of just a one-and-done response, it operates in a continuous loop. You give it a high-level goal, it breaks it down into a plan, it starts executing the tasks, and, this is the crucial part, it evaluates its own work and self-corrects along the way. It's basically become a self-sufficient worker. And this huge cognitive leap was fueled by an absolutely blistering pace of development. Just look at this timeline, it's wild. We go from ChatGPT's public launch to GPT-4's advanced reasoning, then Gemini comes along with a massive context window, and before you know it, we've got models capable of super reasoning and even learning in real time. The speed is just breathtaking. Okay, so you've got this incredible new brain, right? But a brain on its own can't do much. It needs a body to act in the world. And that's where the second major revolution happened, a complete overhaul of the hardware that runs AI. Bringing all that intelligence out of the cloud and putting it right into our hands. I mean, think about it. Just a few years back, any serious AI processing had to happen in the cloud, on these giant server farms. And that meant lag, it cost a fortune, and it raised all sorts of privacy concerns. The real game changer was moving that computing power from the cloud directly onto our laptops, our phones, the devices we use every day. This was all possible because of the Neural Processing Unit, or NPU. It's a specialized chip designed just for AI, and its performance growth has been absolutely explosive. The standard went from 40 trillion operations per second in 2024 to nearly double that today. This is the raw horsepower that allows sophisticated AI to run locally right on your own device. And here's why this matters so much. This isn't just about a cool tech spec. It has massive business implications. By moving AI tasks from the cloud to the edge to our devices, companies can slash their annual cloud bills by a staggering 30 to 70%. Now that is a huge incentive. So with a new brain and a new body, AI was finally ready to leave the lab and weave itself into the fabric of our world. Let's take a look at how this transformation has really impacted both how businesses operate and just our everyday routines. If we take a look at Denmark, for example, a real digital frontrunner, we see incredible adoption. By 2026, 42% of all Danish companies were using AI. That's way, way ahead of the European average. It's clearly moved beyond hype and is now just a standard business tool. But there's a catch here. This adoption isn't uniform at all. While pretty much every large corporation, 96%, is using AI, only a little over half of small companies are. And this creates a digital divide, a major challenge in making sure everyone gets access to these incredible new tools. Now, outside of the office, the biggest change is how AI has started to become invisible. This quote just captures it perfectly. The goal is AI that works so seamlessly in the background that you don't even notice it's there anymore. And this is already happening all around us. Your smart thermostat is using AI to predict your routine and save energy. Your washing machine is using AI to identify fabrics. Your watch is using AI to look for health issues. Your map app is using AI to spot traffic jams before they even form. This is zero UI, powerful tech that requires zero user interface. It just works. This whole shift is so fundamental, it's reshaping the entire tech industry. The best example, Apple. A company famous for building everything in-house signed a $1 billion a year deal just to have Google's AI power its core services. That signals a massive change. Foundational AI models have become a utility, so critical that even the biggest players would rather buy in than risk being left behind. So where does all this lead? While the ultimate, almost mythical goal is what's called artificial general intelligence, or AGI. But as we stand here today in 2026, there are some very real, very significant hurdles blocking that path forward. This is the billion-dollar question that's driving research labs all over the world. Can we create an AI with human-like general cognitive abilities? Opinions are fiercely divided on this, mostly because the path forward is blocked by a few major bottlenecks. First up, we've basically hit peak data. The models we've built so far got smart by reading pretty much the entire public internet. The problem is, we're running out of high-quality human text to feed them. You can't just keep making models bigger if you have nothing new to teach them. Second, we're hitting a wall of physics and economics. The cost and, more importantly, the sheer energy consumption for training these cutting-edge AIs has been growing exponentially. That trend is simply not sustainable. You can't use a small country's worth of power every time you want to train a new model. And maybe the most fundamental challenge is the architecture itself. Today's big models are static. They get trained, and then they're frozen. They don't actually learn from their interactions with you or from new experiences. True intelligence requires continuous, real-time learning, and we're just not there yet. So while the researchers are tackling these problems, society is building guardrails. The EU AI Act is now the global standard. It takes a risk-based approach, banning unacceptable uses, putting strict oversight on high-risk applications like in healthcare, and requiring transparency for things like chatbots. It's a real attempt to make sure all this development happens safely. Which brings us to our final and most critical question. We are building powerful, autonomous agents that are designed for maximum efficiency. But how do we ensure they operate within our ethical frameworks? Finding that right balance between empowering these agents and maintaining meaningful human oversight, well, that is the defining challenge of this new era.